Hey, in our Does This Baby Bump Make Me Look Pregnant episode, Bo tries to hide her pregnancy in order to get a promotion. Dre decides maybe he should take paternity leave, and it's the return of Black Nanny, who may or may not be thieving from the Johnsons. All that, guys, and so much more as we break down the Blackish episode.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Woo! Hey guys, what's going on? It is like a party by myself up in here. We're listening to Donna Summer here. She works hard for the money. I thought that was appropriate considering that Bo works really hard for her money and she's trying to make it up the ladder, but she's got a baby in tow and it's kind of hard for her. Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Stacey Newsome and you are joining me now for the Blackish After Show. Doing it solo tonight. My co-partner over here, D'Angelo, not with us tonight. He's out on assignment, but he'll be back with us next week. If you guys want to reach me, though, you all can tune in to me on Twitter and Instagram at the Stacey Newsome. And remember, you can make comments right here on this page with the live stream, or anytime find us here at AfterBuzz on iTunes or on Facebook or on AfterBuzzTV.com. Awesome. So, guys, we are in to a really fun episode, but a very relevant episode in our current times, where basically a lot of fear is ruling decisions in this episode. Fear of taking what is rightfully yours. And by that, I mean, Bo, she wants a promotion at her job, but she's afraid that being pregnant is going to hold her back, at least in the eyes of her employers. And Dre wants to take paternity leave to spend time with the newborn, but he finds out that he gets iced out pretty quickly. Got a lot of fun storylines going on here. It's the return of Black Nanny, by the way. It's too bad D'Angelo's not here because D'Angelo has been waiting for Black Nanny to come back, and she shows up when he's not here to talk about it. All right, guys. So first of all, let's break down Bo's dilemma. So Bo's a working woman, very hardworking woman, career woman, already got 4 kids, and she has somehow managed to balance being a mother with rising up the ladder, in her job as a medical profession. Now she's about to have a 5th child, and she is up for partner, and she takes a meeting with the board to decide or to find out if she's going to get the promotion. And she has been trying to hide that baby bump as long as she could, but the jig is up tonight. They find out she's pregnant, and she goes into the meeting. She thinks she nails it, but you can tell there's a seed of doubt in the back of her mind, and it turns out she did not get it. So here's the thing. Myself, I don't have kids, so I can't identify with the whole, is this baby going to hold me back in my career aspect of it? However, this whole fear of taking what's rightfully yours, I completely understand that. And if you guys understand that as well, just make some comments if you'd like. Where I'm coming from is, you have a job, then you get sick sometimes, and maybe you have paid sick leave, or maybe you don't have paid sick leave. But for me, I'm always afraid to call out sick because I'm like, oh, they're going to find out they can run this ship without me. Or maybe people won't even miss me. You're afraid. You're afraid if you step away from your duties that they're going to be able to replace you quite easily. And I find that, a lot of people I've worked with in my industry and other industries too, they've mentioned the same thing. It's like you're afraid to take that vacation time. You're afraid to take that, especially the sick time, because it's like, you want to take some time for yourself. But it's like, if I'm not there, I'm going to get in trouble. They're going to be able to replace me. They're going to figure out they don't need me after all. So although I cannot identify with the whole mother, working woman, working mother aspect of it, I can identify with the I'm afraid to call out sick. And Bo is essentially afraid that, her baby might be holding her back in her next career step. Now, parallel to this story, Dre at the office talking with his coworkers. Of course, all kinds of fun ensues in the office with Charlie and the others. And he mentions paternity leave. And this is a concept that is completely foreign to some of the men in the office. It's probably a generational thing, and maybe it's an entitlement thing, I don't know. But they're like, paternity leave? my father didn't take paternity leave. I didn't stay home with my kids. So it's kind of like a high five, like, I didn't stay home with my babies. And Dre takes a step back and he realizes, you know what? I stayed home with Zoe. I had to because I was unemployed and she turned out perfect. And then he looks back, but I didn't stay home with Junior. I didn't stay home with the twins, and we know how they turned out. So he's starting to make these connections. Like maybe if the father is in the house at the beginning, perhaps the kids turn out okay or turn out better. Of course, we know he's going to think the best about Zoe anyway because she's his favorite. Come on, parents out there, you know you have a favorite child. If you have more than one child, you know you have a favorite. It's okay to admit that. All right? You love them all, but one's your favorite. Now, listen, I wasn't my parents' favorite child, and I was an only child. I'm just saying, I just know parents have favorite kids. So, so he starts making these correlations. Perhaps if I'm, there at the beginning of the baby's life, maybe the baby will turn out better. We'll have a bigger bond. So he says, hey, you know what? I'm going to take paternity leave. Okay? Of course, he tells Bo this, and she's very happy. And then he comes back to the office, sometime later, and they're passing around his files. They're like, yeah, no, we're giving your account to everybody else because you're not going to be here. And he realizes, if I'm not here, you guys are just going to make me obsolete. So he starts to feel like, wow, I am disposable. And so it's that whole thing I was just talking about with being afraid to call out, like, oh, well, maybe they don't actually need me. And that's the pressure he starts to feel, and he takes it back. You know what? I'm not taking paternity leave after all. But he tells Bo at the end, you know what, I'm going to work that out. I'm going to work that out. So, yeah, so we have these two parallel storylines here, fear-based, should I take the time off? I'm afraid to take the time off for myself. Now, meanwhile, Black Nanny is back. Her name is Vivian, but Dre calls her Black Nanny because in his mind, in Dre's inflated mind, she's got a crush on him. She's got the hots for him. And so he's like, listen, I'm doing you a favor by calling you Black Nanny. And he actually comes to her defense because Ruby accuses her of stealing, okay? And of course, Ruby's always got these conspiracies going on, and she has decided that Vivian has stolen her iPod Shuffle. I love the fact that none of the kids knew what an iPod Shuffle is. Now, if you're over 25, you probably remember iPod Shuffles, those little things that clip to your lapel and you go jogging, and she wants to take a walk around the Crenshaw Mall, but she can't find her little iPod Shuffle, so she's like, Black Nanny, she's stealing from us. So she kind of sets up a sting operation to trap her, and she just gets caught in her own trap. It turns out Dre has a perfectly great explanation for everything. And he's like, listen, I got you back, but don't get too full of yourself. You can't have none of this. And she's like, I don't want any of that. So Black Nanny, she's not stealing. We'll see her back. But will we? Because here's the twist in the storyline tonight. Black Nanny is pregnant, and she was afraid to tell Bo that she was pregnant for fear of repercussions. She was afraid, again, fear, a lot of fear in this episode. She was afraid what Bo might think, that Bo might think she can't do her job. And so after seeing Bo go through her struggles, she comes out. She's like, listen, you've encouraged me to say this to you. I look up to you. She's like, I can do my job. I'm only going to be out for 6 weeks. Being pregnant's an asset. The exact same thing that Bo says to her employers. And so at first, Bo, she can't see it. She's like, oh, no. How dare you? Who are you? And Dre's like, whoa. You said the exact same thing to your employers to get this promotion, and now you're going to deny her? So it took a minute, for Bo to realize, oh, yeah, this is where my employers are. So now she's able to see, she's able to see it from both sides now. So she resolves the whole thing. She goes back to the office. They've got an attorney waiting just in case she sues. And she tells them, listen, I can be an asset here. Maybe I'm not right for the promotion right now, but there are some things I want to do to kind of smooth, over the whole relationship between employers and working pregnant mothers. So that's how that episode resolved itself. And I just thought it was really interesting to see, the struggles of Bo being a working mother. I grew up with my grandparents, and so they were both actually retired by the time I came along. So I never saw them leave the house and go to work. However, I have an aunt who lived very close to us, and she was a modern working woman. She was like, feminist, and she was like, breaking glass ceilings, and she rose up in the ranks to executive level at her job at, I believe it was AT&T. This was in the 80s. Ooh, did I say that? It was in the 90s. It was 2000. Yeah, anyway. So yeah, okay, it was in the 80s, whatever. It was in the 80s. And so I had that role model, and I saw her choosing career over family and children until she got to a certain level. So I did have it in my mind that it is a choice. You have to pick one or the other, because it's very hard to have both. It's like, as a woman who wants to be a mother, you can have it all. You just can't have it all at one time. So my aunt, kudos to her for being able to kind of like, live that perfect balance of, I'm going to get my career in this amount of time. I'm going to rise to the level I want to rise, and then I'm going to get married and settle down and have a baby when I'm 42. That's what she did. And I'm just like, wow, I can wait till I'm 50 to start having kids. Nowhere near there, by the way, nowhere near there. But I'm just saying that was what was modeled to me. So I had a lot of affection for this episode, because I really saw my aunt in Bo tonight being, a working mom. Let's see. Guys, by the way, if you have any comments, please do comment for us here on AfterBuzz. And again, you can tune into us on YouTube, AfterBuzzTV.com. What other notes did I find really funny tonight? Charlie, always a joy to watch Dion Cole work on this show. He's so funny. He has kids. He just doesn't know where they are most of the time. So yeah, looking forward to next weekend or next week's episode. What I love is that we're getting to see Bo's progression in her pregnancy. There are a couple of weeks there where the baby bump was there, and then the baby bump wasn't there, and the baby bump was a little bigger, and then it was smaller the next week. From what I understand, they filmed some of the episodes out of order, so the bump was like this for a little bit, but now she's way out there. So I think we can expect a baby by the end of this season. I hope. I'm sure that's where they're going with it. Well, guys, we will see you next week. I think that's it, and I think D'Angelo will be back with us. If you have any comments, questions, please do so on our webpage. It's been a pleasure to be here with you. My name is Stacey. You can hook up with me on Instagram and Twitter at the Stacey Newsome. That's STACEY. Take it easy, guys.
Executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.